Okay, here we go. And welcome to the Review Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's original film, Wounds. So Wounds starts off with a bunch of people in a bar. That you see a barman flirting with an ex-girlfriend. Well, at least that's what the film is telling us about. And they seem to be getting on really well, even though she's got her boyfriend with her. And then there's a bar fight that breaks out, and there's these teenagers in the bar that film this whole bar fight, and they have to stop this bar fight. And one of the teenagers drops a mobile phone. The barman picks up the mobile phone and see some really disturbing stuff on it. And the central premise is what happens with that phone and what it unleashes on these people's lives as they go into it. As the film progresses, you see more and more disturbing stuff, and a lot of the time you're not knowing, with this protagonist who's the barman, you're not knowing who or what you're seeing. The barman doesn't know what's going on, and you don't know what you're seeing on. There's a lot of flash imagery, so it uses this technique where you see stuff quickly, so that it shows the degradation of this barman as stuff unfolds and unravels. His world is quickly unraveling as they find out that these kids, or you think these kids, have been messing with stuff they shouldn't have been. There's some sort of ritual, some sort of weird portal, I think. And that's kind of the weird premise. I really like the beginning of this film. I love the setup. I love the tone of the music. I thought it was very clever with the tone of the music. There isn't a lot of music. It's just ambience. It's ambiotic sounds, a lot of woos and whoa in the background, and that really drives the feeling of uneasiness. I love the build up of the relationships. The relationships in this whole film feel very strained. There's a lot of history, even though they don't go into it, and I like that kind of setup. You understand that there's stuff going on in these people's lives, and then you see their lives get unraveled. It reminds me a lot of other horror films we've had. The Ring, there's this kind of portal picture-esque thing, and that reminded me of The Ring, you know, where somebody looks at something and then it affects them mentally and physically. One of the things that I think worked in this film is that you don't know what's going on. But one of the things that you have to explain mostly in films like this is that by the time you get to the end of the film, you kind of need to let your audience know what is happening. And by the time we got to the end of the film, I had no clue what the crap was going on. It's the first time I've wanted to kind of go and scream and shout at the film, going, I need to know more about what the hell is going on, because you didn't explain anything. I can dissect and pull it apart and go back and look at bits, and does that mean that? Does that mean that? And I do think it's going to be one of those Marmite films where people are going to be like, oh, I love it, it means that. And other people are going to be like, what the hell are you on? I'm falling on the side of the fence of going, why do I have to dissect it? You need to tell and explain to me what is going on within the premise of your storylines. I think that the actors themselves, they held up their roles well. I like the ambience of the film. I like the way it was shot. I like the flash imagery. I think that all works well. It kind of works well as a horror. But when you get to that end and you don't hit the fruition of the storyline that you want, it just ends. It shows you something that's happening and he's like, because I don't want to do spoilers, but yeah, there's this character that goes, yeah, I'm sure that explains a lot. But yeah, I was very frustrated with the end of this film. I don't know that I will ever watch it again unless there's a part 2 that explains some of the lore of the nonsense that's in this film. It's a shame, because I think it's actually a pretty good film until the end, and the end just kind of drops it by 2 points. I'm just like, what were you doing? I liked where you were going, and now I have no clue. Maybe if you understand what happened in this film. I feel like it's a fairly long film, and they took their time explaining and setting up the world and giving you little tidbits of information about the lore or what these kids were messing with. It's kind of a MacGuffin, because you barely see these kids that start this whole unraveling of these guys' worlds, but you understand, like through imagery and video footage, you kind of get what's going on, and then you should normally in the film there would be a time where you really the story starts revealing what's happening, and then you kind of go, ah, yeah, that was pretty cool, or oh yeah, I don't like that. But you shouldn't really leave your audience just bam. I guess they were going for exactly this kind of response. And as I said, I think it's going to be a Marmite. Some are going to love it, some are going to hate it. I don't think I like it. I liked the film until the ending. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this film. Did you think it was good? Did you like the ending? Did you understand it? I'm not sure. I'm going to give it a C. I was going to give it a D, but I think it's a good film. I probably would have given it a B plus because of the performances and the way it's made and the cinematography. But that ending for me really let it down. So C. If you think that's I'm being too harsh, let me know. That's okay, but that's just how I feel at the moment upon watching this film. This is the second horror Netflix has released today. The other one was Eli. I thought that was pretty good as well. I like the ending of that one. Yeah, but do let me know in the comments below what you thought about this. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and Tuesday.